I'm going to humble brag a little bit here because I was able to go to CinemaCon. And I've been talking, anyone who watches my channel knows I've been humble bragging about going to CinemaCon this year. One of the quick snippets that we were afforded to at CinemaCon was of Anyone But You. And this is Glen Powell from Top Gun Maverick, Sydney Sweeney from Euphoria, and The Voyeur, and The White Lotus. This is the two of them in a romantic comedy set in Australia. And there hasn't been a single poster out for it yet, and there hasn't been a trailer out for it. But the idea is it's a rom-com, it's a romantic comedy, and their arch nemeses reuniting after graduation years later for a destination wedding down in Australia. At CinemaCon in late April, they literally had just gotten off a plane in Las Vegas, and they went straight to Caesar's Palace, Celine Dion's Coliseum, for the presentation, and they had some quick footage there for all of the theater chain people that decide how many theaters are going for every film. That has me excited. There hasn't been any trailers or press coming out because everyone's on strike right now in Hollywood. But as far as rom-coms go, I'm not traditionally a huge rom-com fan. It's something I've gotten more into in the last couple of years. And any time you get Sydney Sweeney, anything Sydney Sweeney's in, oh my God, that woman.
She's so good.
Yeah, and she's going to be in a Spider-Man movie coming up. She's going to be in Madam Spider or whatever it is. Madam Web.
Barbarella, I think she's doing a remake of that.
It wouldn't surprise me because if anyone can pull it off, being that talented as an actress, and not having any limits as to what she's willing to do on camera in terms of filmmaking, she is such a talented actress. And Glen Powell, one of the better parts of Top Gun Maverick, is the one sort of very stereotypically cocky fighter pilot.
He reminds me of Chris Evans a lot. In terms of you can see that he can do more, but he's stereotyped so hard into like the suave guy who comes off as an asshole but has a heart of gold. And I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to be doing in this movie too.
And that poor guy, you're right. He's the guy that who do we want for this role? Well, we can't really afford Chris Evans. All right, get Glen Powell's his agent on the line.
I'm really rooting for him to be Cyclops. I feel like he could knock that out of the park, and that would be his role to make.
He kind of old to play Cyclops, though.
I guess, yeah. It depends on if they do the whole the X-Men's always been their thing, then he can be the right age. But if it's starting from scratch, then no. But it's funny that you brought this movie up. There's been a lot of drama coming from this movie before it even comes out. People have thought that Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell have been in a relationship, and Glen Powell's married.
Oh,
so there's been a lot of crap going on with that going on because the stereotype is when you do a rom-com or you do a movie where you have a romantic relationship, usually it turns into something real. We've seen it happen a couple times, more times than we should have probably.
Method acting.
They got too serious into the method. So there's a lot of pictures where it feels like, oh, they look like a couple. So. And they haven't come out to say no. So a lot of people are like, oh my God. So I think it might be a little bit of a publicity stunt, but it's been fun.
They wouldn't be the first, set of good-looking actors who hook up on a movie set. You look at Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You look at
all the Spider-Man actors.
Yeah, exactly. Emma Stone.
One?
Yeah. Andrew Garfield, and honestly, too, going back a little ways, Halle Berry on the set of Monsters Ball.
Oh yeah,
her and ironically Angelina Jolie's actual real life husband Billy Bob, they hooked up on set.
Yeah.
So that would not surprise me at one iota if Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell method acting.
Yeah, we're in Australia.
Yeah, halfway around the world.
It's funny. I'm seeing there's another Never Have I Ever actor in this film. They're everywhere now.
Yeah.
Darren Barnett.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with the director, Will Gluck.
Yeah, he's a comedy director. I can't name any off the top of my head, but Will Gluck is one of the guys that he's in that group of, like, maybe not so much the Will Ferrell, but, like, that next generation of directors. The Judd Apatow kind of school of comedy of the...
Oh, yeah.
I would need to look it up, and I can't in the middle.
He did Easy A, which I really love.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Emma Stone. Easy A.
Friends with Benefits, which I really love too. Yep. He did an Annie movie, the 2014 film. Oh, that movie was okay. So he has a decent track record. So,
Easy A alone. Easy A could have been easily forgettable.
Yeah.
It's one that, it still gets played on television now 10, 12 years later. And It really was, it's not surprising that it was a launch vehicle for Emma Stone into Oscardom. A-list status. First guest of the Tonight Show. Kind of stuff. So anyone.